Hello, and welcome to this episode of Saved by the Belial, an atrocious Ultraman podcast, the show where we only have 3 minutes to talk about an episode of Ultraman. My name's David.
And I am Chris.
Oh, wait, I didn't compliment you.
Oh, that's okay.
I mean, I complimented you. In my heart, I complimented
In your
you.
heart, yeah.
Yes. So, is this the part where I ask how you're doing?
I might be.
Okay, because I would listen to some of our old episodes from Kaiju Apostle, and even though I've been like, I don't understand why people do that with the podcast, we did it a lot.
We
So
certainly did, yeah.
I'm a hypocrite, and you can't see me right now, but I'm totally in sackcloth and ashes for
It's
for my
actually kind of
hypocrisy.
weird. These are the same ashes from Ash Wednesday.
Oh man,
Just been holding on to them.
Yeah, bottled them up.
Just like our emotions.
Okay. Anyway, we are off to a wonderful start here, and we are discussing the 1966 TV show Ultraman. Man. We don't have the budget for actual echoes. So what we're going to do here is we're going to read a introduction, kind of a summary about this show. And then we're just going to jump right into these episode discussions because at this point, we don't have any listener feedback or reviews to share. So I'm going to grab this beautiful box by Mill Creek and I'm going to read the back of it because...
Wait, David, who's Mill Creek?
Oh, Mill Creek. Yeah. So they are the company that has partnered with Subaraya Productions to release the Ultraman TV series of varying capacities in the United States and I would assume other regions. I actually don't know who all can buy these or view them, but I'm assuming a lot of people can. So, and they are also uh, technically Movie Spree, but they're related. We've partnered with them to give out download codes to various shows that we're watching. As of right now, we don't have any codes for this series yet, but we're hoping to have that rectified by the next one. But this is the episode where we announce the winners for the Birth of Ultraman, which is a 7-episode. It's like the 7 most iconic episodes of this series, both dubbed and subbed, and a stage show. So make sure to listen if you entered so that you know that you win. And make sure you just listen anyway because you've already started. So what else?
You've already started investing.
Yeah. Trust me, there's no going back from this.
No, honestly.
All right. From the land of light, for justice sake, here he comes, our Ultraman. Oh, God, that hurt my throat. Okay. So, Ultraman, a giant alien from the land of light and Nebula M78, enters Earth's atmosphere in pursuit of an escaped space monster. In the skies above Japan, he accidentally crashes into a jet VTOL piloted by Hayata. I love how they just assume that you know what a jet VTOL is here.
Yeah, why not?
A member of the Science Special Search Party, the SSSP, an international research and defense agency that protects the world from monsters and aliens of all shapes and sizes. To save Hayata, Ultraman merges his life force with the dying human and vows to stay and fight for peace on Earth. Now, whenever the patrol faces a threat too great for them to handle, Hayata transforms into Ultraman to save the day. So Ultraman was Subaraya Productions' first color series, a sci-fi action-adventure drama that dominated the ratings during its initial 1966 to 1967 broadcast run in Japan. The show was quickly licensed for release in America, airing in syndication for nearly 2 decades. Colorful, fast-paced, and packed with memorable heroes, creatures, and incredible special effects, Ultraman was the foundation for a phenomena that continues to this day and is now available in high definition. I'd say that's pretty good summary.
Learned all about it.
Yeah, I know. I don't even know why we're doing the podcast at this point. You know everything you need to know.
You read the back. That's all you got to do.
Oh, yeah. Business in the front, party in the back.
Amen. Ultra mullet.
No, I will say I did see the greatest mullet the other day. I was absolutely jealous. I was like, I would not have the stones to do that myself.
It's hard when you see a good one, you want deep down to be that kind of person.
There so much cultivating that went into that just luscious shape.
Oh, amen.
Oh, yeah, it's glorious. Okay. So, as you're probably aware, because hopefully you listened to the introductory episode, we only have 3 minutes to discuss each episode of the show. And when the timer starts beeping, that means we need to stop or at least get close. There will be a nice little surprise at the end to let us know that is time to move on to the next episode. So, uh, we're just going to read the description that Mill Creek has provided for each episode, just so if you're not, maybe you've watched the episode, but it's been a year or two, just kind of, make sure we're all on the same page here. So, yeah, Chris, if you want to go ahead and start with episode number 1.
Yes. Does this start the countdown?
No. So, as soon as you say the last word, I will hit the button.
All right. All right. So, episode 1, Ultra Operation number 1. Strange illuminated spheres streak over Lake Ryugamori, a red orb chasing a blue orb, both being tracked by ancient Hayata of the Science Special Search Party, also known as Science Patrol. Trying to keep up with their tremendous speed, the red sphere collides with Hayata's aircraft in midair. Hayata is resurrected by a towering silver and red humanoid from the Land of Light in the nebula M78, who merges with the Earthman and bestows upon him the Beta Capsule, a device that will allow him to transform his shape at will. Thought dead, Hayata rejoins his teammates as they plan to deal with a monster, Bemular, that has emerged from the second sphere.
All right, there's the boop. Okay, so can you imagine being in 1966 watching this on TV for the first time?
Like if you've seen Ultra Q, maybe, but even then, there's not a lot.
No, but I mean, Ultra Q is black and white though. Like this is just
That's
color. Like
true.
everything's just popping, right? I don't know. I keep thinking about like it's really easy to get critical of some of these older shows. You're just like, oh, special effects here and there, but not only is it revolutionary then, it's still a big deal now. I mean,
Hmm.
Iji Tsuburaya was definitely like absolutely groundbreaking in everything he did, whether it's the Godzilla films, even some of his other films that he'd work on. There's some war films that he did too. But yeah, just this such a good way to start the series. So I guess for you, what was kind of like your impression coming in and watching your first actual Ultraman show or episode?
Yeah, so coming in only having seen Z, it did crack me up that I'm assuming they all might start the same way that both Ultraman and the human are about to die. So then it's like fusion time, we save each other's life. Um, I probably made a mistake of reading The Rise of Ultraman before watching this,
Yeah.
but so it's kind of nice to have an idea who some of the character names were at least. But
Hmm.
yeah, it was definitely like I what I liked from Z was the ultra fast paced, and this was not wasn't much slower. It was a little slower, but still.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a great way to start, especially for new fans. Like this really helps set the tone for everything else that's going to come by. Um, I will say what bothered me is I watched this and I was like, wait, have they had these flashing tie tacks the entire series? And I just never knew that because I've seen this show before. I haven't seen them flash again, but I was like, yeah, they totally had the tie tacks. I just don't pay attention, apparently.
Well, now you have to because we were going to talk about it all,
I
every
know.
part.
Yeah. But I mean, seriously, the tie tacks though, like if I was still Mormon and had to go to church and wear ties, I would totally have just like that circular tie tack.
Oh,
And
amen.
oh yeah, I mean everyone would be jealous. Like I would have 7 wives, right? It would just
Oh my gosh.
be great. Um did you, cuz you're the theological guy, right? Did you pick up anything about the name Bimular or at least like how they described him?
Yeah, I noticed it's almost going to be one of the episodes 8 or 9 when they kind of compare him to the devil and talk about chaos. Yeah, I noticed there's definitely a few more like easier theological jumps to make here.
Mhm.
But I was kind of more like honestly right now is a little more focused on watching the show and trying to remember everyone.
Yeah.
So what were you thinking?
Nope. I mean,
Oh.
so Beamler, Dimmer like the demon. Hayata seemingly dies. Akiko hears Hayata's voice with her skepticism. Even Ide says she's hearing a ghost. Huh, I wonder what this sounds like. All right. Off to a
Wow.
good start
Okay.
here.
Next episode.
Next episode. Here we go. All right. Episode number 2, Shoot the Invader. A UFO is caught by radar over Tokyo. Captain Muramatsu sends Arashi to investigate. He reports that alien creatures have frozen all those within, while Muramatsu holds off the military until a dialogue can be established with the aliens and Hayata arrives. A nervous Ide clumsily attempts first contact. Speaking through Arashi, a Baltan relates mad scientists destroyed their planet. Hayata offers them a chance to settle on Earth, although the Baltans, all 2.3 billion of them, have already decided on conquest. Only Ultraman stands in their way, repelling them with spacium. He decloaks their ship and destroys it, dooming the Baltans but saving humanity. So this is the inevitable Ultraman commits genocide and everybody celebrates episode.
Oh gosh, I know. I was like, "Excuse me?"
I told myself I wasn't going to say that, but I'm like, that's
But
the
you
episode.
kind of have to.
Hmm.
Okay, so I'm glad you said that.
Yeah.
Um, because it's such a far cry from in Z when they all kind of spend a few episodes really kind of talking about the cost of killing what seem to be just animals.
Yeah.
So this one seems, especially because like this one was kind of weird in the sense that it was like it seemed like a story about colonization, but not in the same way that like Thor Ragnarok or some of our other stories are. So
Hmm. Yeah, for a moment, you almost have some sympathy for the Baltons,
yeah,
and then they're just like, "Nope, we're just gonna come in, we're gonna take over." It's like, did we really have to go this route? Like, could we not have talked? So yeah, it's interesting because even later in this series, you will get more into like, oh, what are we doing? But this definitely did feel like a, oh, okay, well, I guess we're just gonna kill them all.
we're just gonna
Okay,
kill them all.
yeah.
Well, what was the Godzilla movie with a similar idea? Was it
Uh,
the Planet X one?
Destroy. Well, either be destroy all monsters or invasion of Astro Monster.
Yeah, yeah,
Probably
yeah.
destroy all monsters because they came down. Remember, they wanted to live under the volcano, and they're like, "No, we're not
That's
going to
right,
do
that's
that."
right.
Yeah.
I find it so interesting how many stories around this time have focused on, like, aliens coming to settle on Earth
Hmm.
and the people's reaction to them.
Yeah. So
I
I.
hmm?
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I just had to laugh at the name Spacium. That's
Yeah,
something that you get all the way up to Ultraman Z is kinda funny,
I
campy
know.
names like that.
So I love the fact that Ide breaks the fourth wall in this episode. Like you don't really
Mhm.
see that in the rest of the series, but it's just a nice little. I don't know. You could tell it's really wanting to connect with the kids, um,
Sure.
especially in an episode that has like some very dark horror vibes going on in
Oh
it.
my
It's kind of
gosh, yeah.
I love that. But you know, then you have your comical moments where he's like hee ho 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 ah, you know, just things like that, or like when Hoshino is like the loud lady from HQ. You know, like
Yeah.
I love Hoshino, by the way. I love these kid characters in these shows.
There were some tonal shifts, and not in a bad way. Tonal shift sounds negative, but it wasn't.
No, no, if it's done right, it's great, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's got to be well done. And this one definitely has a good like serious tone, but without being too bleak, right? You know,
Yes.
it
Yep.
makes you have that you get invested and you realize like, oh, maybe there are some actual stakes going on here. But ultimately, you have fun with it, and that's what I want from Ultraman, right? I want to
I
think, but yeah,
even with a dark, deep episode like this, it can still be fun.
there you go.
Let's get us to episode 3. Science Patrol Move Out. Fuji and Hoshino investigate strange sounds and movement coming from the well of Odawara Castle. According to folklore, 500 years ago, a famous samurai drove a rampaging monster, Naranga, underground and it remains alive. With hydroelectric power plants, the monster has slowly fed off this energy, growing to enormous proportions, and can make itself invisible. The SSSP manages to establish a pattern of the creature's attacks and sorties to the location to find a way to stop its next assault.
Sorties, I love that word.
Yeah, I had to read that. I read that. I was like, "Is that the word I'm looking for?" Anyway, I promise I'm not going to do this during the whole show. But I was like, "Hey, I know this one. This guy was in Z."
Yeah. He was also in the Shin Ultraman trailer.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh, we can't. We don't have time to get into that.
No, we don't. So, what is with Hoshino's parents? Like, he's just literally being running around with the SSSP. Like, it's
Well,
not a big deal. I mean, I love it.
summer internship.
He's too young for an internship. Come on, man.
It's an
Uh,
unpaid summer
yeah.
internship.
So this is really, I think, the first episode to really showcase the miniature work that Ultraman's
Oh
going to be
gosh,
known for.
yeah.
It's absolutely gorgeous. Like not only the practical effects with the hills crumbling, all the explosions, but like this is easily one of the standout episodes of the 10 that we're talking today.
Yeah, and honestly, I will bring Shin back in a little bit. It does remind you like how well they've consistently done the miniatures work, that they
Mhm.
can just play around with this so much that I kind of would prefer more suits and miniatures based
Yep.
on how well they do it all the way
I
back then.
know. I know. Yeah. Yeah, that is it was a little tough. I mean, with Shin, it would be nice to see that, but we'll see how it plays out.
And I do love the way that this one plays with the lore of monsters growing. Um
Yes.
like the fact that the first time a samurai drives him out, but this time he's getting huge because he's just feeding on power
Mhm.
plants.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think everything needs to be explained, but I kinda love it when they can do fun, like, within the logic of the show, yeah, totally.
Mhm. Yeah, you're finding that with this series, there's, like, small, tiny little lore bits that, like, really don't go any further than what they're talking about, but you're realizing you're watching a show that's established in a world where monsters exist, right? You're
Yes,
not
and they can be
having to
giant.
suspend your disbelief that, like, "Oh, wait, a monster is just appearing." It's like, well, yes, a monster is appearing, like, they almost seem a little like, "What's happening?" But it's not like, "Oh, well, monsters don't exist." They know that,
Mhm.
it's just, these myths and these legends that they have, there's actual, like, reality in that, and that's cool. I don't know.
Yep.
I think it's fun. The, uh the composite shots in this episode are a bit rough, though. So the parts were, like, what we would say, like, green screen now, like, you have the background and then they're put
Mhm.
in front of it. Some of those were a little, and then the Ultraman suit face in this one, I think by this point, been beat up a bit. He was absolutely
He was
haggard
getting a little
looking in
rough for the
this.
wear.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, in this series, you're gonna see there's 3 different suits that they go through, but,
Yeah, that
uh,
makes sense.
yeah, I will say when I watched this with Jasper the first time, I was not expecting Naranga to blow up like that at the end, and I just sit there and I look over and I'm like,
Yeah, that might be
"Uh"
an award later.
Alright, episode 4. Let's see. 5 seconds before the explosion. An accidental explosion causes a rocket to crash into the Pacific with 6 atomic bombs. One of the missing bombs explodes, causing a massive and destruction tidal wave. On leave at a seaside resort, SSSP agents Fuji and Hoshino. Oh, so I guess he is technically an agent. Huh. Okay, spot the amphibious humanoid Ragon, mutated into a colossus by the atomic explosion. Hayata rushes to the scene by road while Arashi takes to the sky. Forced into action, Ultraman defeats Ragon with his Spacium beam, removing the monster threat without triggering the bomb. He retrieves the ordnance and saves the day, though humanity is chilled at how close it came to nuclear destruction.
What an off like, this whole episode description is the episode.
I know. I know.
And it's just so, like it's so, like, flippant towards the fact that it was, like, 6 atomic bombs.
Oh, geez. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I can't help but not bring in some of the Godzilla talk here, but
I just love the fact that we have a scene in this episode where a set of women are like, "Hey, we don't want to watch over our kids." So it's like, "Please watch my daughter while we go get absolutely wasted." Okay,
well,
bye.
yeah.
That was great.
Hey,
Oh
sometimes
man.
these have to be true to life, and that is true to life sometimes.
Yeah, I have 2 kids and I won't say we get wasted, but there are definitely times where it's like, "Hey, grandma, can you watch the kids so we can just like get out,
Yeah.
please? Thank you." Uh
Oh, honestly.
I love the fact again, we just talked about this, but like Ragon is already established in this universe. So they know what he is, right? They know that
Mhm.
like, hey, music is supposed to calm him down because spoilers, we see that in Ultra Q. So like it's nice that like those little bits are coming back where they
Mhm.
actually care about what's done before, right?
Yeah, 'cause, when I watched, well, I only watched a few episodes of Ultra Q,
Hmm.
but, it was kinda nice. Sometimes they were left as complete mysteries,
Yeah.
sometimes the newspaper reports everything about the story,
Hmm.
and I had no idea how they were gonna tie in like this, but I thought this was really nice. Like,
Yeah.
even if you didn't watch Ultra Q, you don't have to. Like, they just the way that they just kinda know, it also it builds this world where they know what some of these are. And I love how
Mhm.
it's not always a shock. It's not like, "What's this grotesque being?" It's like, "Oh, that's
Exactly.
Ragon."
Yeah. And apparently small knives are effective against 30-meter tall monsters.
Hey, I wouldn't wanna be pricked no matter how tall I am and how small the prick is.
Yeah. Are you talking about the knife or the kid?
Hey, I didn't say that.
I will say the ending is amazing. They just throw the rag on, like, it's just like a huge doll or, just
Oh
like they
gosh,
throw him
yeah.
off the cliff and it's not even ragdoll physics because his arms aren't moving. He's just like
It's just
stiff.
he's just so planking his way down.
It's so good. I'm so glad
Oh,
that they do this throughout like all of these shows in the 60s and 70s. It's one of my favorite parts.
yeah.
Oh
I
man,
do just have to laugh at the suit itself, though. The creature from the Black Lagoon suit they've got there.
pretty much. Yeah, Rhagon's such an awesome design though. I love any episode that he is featured in. And just the fact that like apparently being exposed to mass amounts of radiation ruins your ability to enjoy music.
Well, it ruins your ability to do a lot of things.
Yeah, that's probably true. That was a good way to end. All
Yeah.
right. Episode number 5
This one's got a lot of big old words. So this one is The Secret of the Miroganda. The presence of a strange green mucus at murder scenes comes to the attention of
is
the
mucus a
SS.
big word for you?
Oh, dude, it's got two syllables, dude. Um, I did look at that word for a minute, and I was like, "Is that what comes out of my nose?" Anyway,
The
uh,
mucocus?
oh gosh, this is a family podcast. Um,
Come on.
The presence of a strange green mucus at murder scenes comes to the attention of the SSSP as part of a recent string of suspicious deaths in Tokyo. All the victims were members of an expedition to a new atoll in the South Pacific. The sole survivor recounts the discovery of a huge, beautiful flower before being attacked by an insectivorous plant. It's soon discovered that the attacks came after members of the expedition drank from an island spring that nourished a living flower, Miroganda. The plant monster, Green Mons, meant to protect its growth when it seemed like the intruders were drinking from Miraganda's water supply.
Okay, yeah, and insectivorous is a big word.
Yeah. So is mucus though.
I know.
Um, yeah, I did appreciate this one was just we it's not always about like what's the one, the red one, the red dragon from Z when he first realizes that it's just protecting its eggs. Sometimes they're just
Red King?
protecting what?
Red King?
Yeah, Red King. When the plant it's misunderstanding sometimes, and I love it
Yeah,
because on a show that's already covered genocide, misunderstanding seemed like a pretty good one at the next
I
stage.
know. Yeah, and that's what's crazy, right? I mean, we wouldn't have been in this situation if that doctor wouldn't have, like, exposed this flower to that radiation, So
Mhm.
it's unfortunate, and I think it is a good, like you can see the consequences of like, I was listening to Giant Monster Messages earlier, their episode of Terra Mecha Godzilla, and, like, there's a difference between being a good scientist, like, not a difference, but, like, you can be a good scientist, but make bad moral decisions with that,
Yes.
and this is something that he shouldn't have done, right?
Right.
Um I will say I laughed when they're like, "Here are the skid marks." And I'm thinking about, like, talking to
In their
my
underwear.
wife about potty training with our son. I'm like, "Here are the skid marks."
Yeah. It goes all the
Uh,
way up the back.
yeah. Oh god, yeah, I don't wanna think about that right now. Um, but I will say this monster did you ever watch Aqua Teen Hunger Force?
No, can't say
Oh,
that I did.
yeah, so, Meatwad, I remember there's a line, he's like, "When I get pissed, you get missed." And I'm just like, "This is if you have to sum up the show, that's what this is, this big mister just" did you recognize the last crew member, the woman? Do you recognize her?
I did, but you know me.
Yeah, so it was, the lady that played, Princess Salno in Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster, the
Oh,
prophet?
okay.
Yeah.
I figured there's gonna be some overlap pretty soon here.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that one's pretty cool. I do just like sometimes too that these are a couple of different types of monster or a couple of different types of kaiju so far.
Mhm.
Like radiation, this one fed off electrical plant. This one's just a big old plant.
Yeah. Yeah. The end is wonderful because you're like, "Where's Hayata?" Like, I love when they lean into that.
Yeah,
Like, "Wait, he's just conveniently gone."
but no one can quite put it together. It's just
No.
like when, yeah, it's like, well, the giant robot's down, Ultraman Z is down. Huh, I wonder where anyone else is. What's going on?
Exactly.
But it's so funny because like this is totally different from when Peter turns into Spider-Man because he's alone. This
Mhm.
is like there's four of us. Where's the fourth member?
Yeah. Just we conveniently ignore him and we just keep doing what we're doing,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. All right. Episode number 6, The Coast Guard Command. While visiting Yamashita Park at the port of Yokohama, Hoshino's friend Chiro spots a monster out on the bay with binoculars. Neither Hoshino nor Nobuko see Chiro's beast, but Hoshino spies Saburo Nakajima, the notorious smuggler known as Diamond Kick. Arashi doesn't believe either of them, but speaking to a veteran crewman from the Columbia Maru, the creature seems to be a legend known as Geisra. It is an amphibious lizard native to Brazil that eats insects and cocoa beans. Yeah, cocoa beans. And but has now grown to tremendous proportions, feeding on the industrial waste in Tokyo Bay. We're screwing things up, Chris. All these monsters exist because of us.
Oh, I know. Well, I couldn't help but think of the SpongeBob one where it's like they're selling what? Chocolates.
You'll live forever.
You live forever.
I
Um,
love you.
this one gave me strong vibes of one of the strangest episodes of Ultra Q,
Hmm.
and the one where the little dude's turtle flies him to
Yes.
the sea princess's land, and she's like
Yeah, such a good
swinging in the middle
episode.
of the sky, and also there are criminals involved.
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
love that Ultraman's just like, yeah, there are kaiju and criminals.
Right.
This guy's known as
Named Diamond Kick.
Diamond Kick. Yeah. And I can't decide sometimes which one I want to hear from more.
I know. Like, I will say, if I ever get something tattooed on my back, you better believe it's going to be Diamond Kick with the hyphen.
Oh gosh. The hyphen that's missing from the Coast Guard command.
Yep.
But
Uh, so I made a comment here that the 20-meter shark is found dead, which is bigger than any recorded whale shark. And Arashi assumes that it was killed by a boat.
by a boat. I know. I was like, that's 40 feet long. Yeah, probably a boat.
Yeah, it's yeah, because I
Actually,
think the
that's
longest whale shark recorded is like 18.8 meters or something like that.
okay.
Yeah, I did look that up, and I was like, man, that's it's bigger than a megalodon, you know.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
That's a boat.
Yeah. But, so we talked about it last time. Like these past few episodes have really introduced the dynamic of monsters that aren't necessarily evil or malicious, like Bemular or Alien Bolton. Like
Hmm.
my boy just wanted his dang cocoa beans.
He just wanted his cocoa beans.
Yeah. Like he was cuckoo for cocoa beans.
The smuggler is the villain in this one, which
Oh
is a
yeah,
really nice touch.
absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, it's I love Geyser though. He's such because I think he was in Z too, right? I'm kind of
Oh,
drawing a blank
yeah,
there.
yeah, you're
Towards
probably
one
right.
of the last episodes with God, what was the thing that they made with remember the thing that they made.
The
I
beam? Does it
Yeah, yeah, like
yeah.
the Ultroid Zero or whatever. I feel like
Oh,
he was
yeah,
one of the
yeah.
monsters in that. I'm totally drawing a blank. It's almost
That's
11
okay.
o'clock. But,
Yeah.
yeah, it's just funny though, because like, Fuji's the only one that's, like, really sad about Hayata dying, and then, like, he
Mhm.
shows up despite being in the warehouse that was destroyed, and he has the villain, and no one's like, "How did that happen?"
Right. Yeah, gosh, I just love that this one's just like, "Oh, I eat chocolate. Okay." But yeah, the human elements really come out a lot better here, like you were just
Yes.
saying.
Yes, a very, very good episode.
After teams from oh sorry, the Blue Stone of Baradhi is episode 7. After teams from the Middle East and Indian branches of the SSSP disappear while searching for a meteorite in Turkey, the Japan branch is dispatched with a representative from Paris HQ. Soon after finding the meteorite, Ide sees a giant monster rise out of the ground. and they stumble upon the pit of a giant insect creature littered with plane wreckage. Escaping its clutches, the team discovers the lost town of Baradhi, where a statue holding a blue stone that has kept the monster Antlar at bay for 5,000 years. When Antlar attacks Baradhi, Ultraman's Spacium beam fails and it overwhelms him. Dun dun dun.
This episode's gonna piss off both progressive and fundamentalist Christians
Oh
because
my
they're saying
goodness.
5,000 years back to Noah, but, like, even, like, young Earth creationists would say it's more than that.
Which, yeah, I do love this part, but that's okay.
Sorry, I just had to be pedantic about it.
Yeah, well, if we weren't pedantic, we wouldn't be us.
No, not at all.
So
Not at all.
I did love this one. This one is like such a weird, like, I love those ones that's like some shows are so singularly focused on one thing. So it's like Ultraman is the only weird thing going on here. But in this world, there's blue stones and legends of gods, and the stone may or may not be connected to Ultraman. I thought it was really cool that there's other things going on than just the ultras.
Mhm. I love the fact that in the beginning, Jim seems to actually be speaking his lines. And then all of a sudden it's like, okay, now he starts speaking Hebrew or Aramaic. And it's like, okay, yeah, no, it's totally being dubbed over.
That
His mouth was not moving.
No, there's in Sentai Mega Ranger, there's some characters who speak in English that's clearly dubbed over English,
Yeah.
and it cracks me up. But I did like the multi. I liked how this one's like a bigger worldwide thing. The
Oh, for
SSSP
sure.
is worldwide.
Yeah. Yeah. The Paris HQ and all that. Yeah. It is interesting. Part of me wants to be like, what else is happening in the world though? Like we get this little bit, but like I want to see what's happening in the United States and South
Well, that's the
America.
thing. The world of Ultraman makes me think there could be.
Hmm.
There's no
Yeah.
reason to think it's all just happening in Tokyo. And as the franchise progresses, we learn that's the case. But
Hmm. Have you ever noticed so, like, the line, "At last, the fated day of Baradhi's destruction has arrived." Like, have you ever noticed that these events always happen when you have guests over?
oh my god, why can't it ever just happen when I'm having a quiet Sunday at home? Like, anytime a guest would come over, I'd be like, "Well, frick, that prophecy's probably coming true tomorrow, then, isn't it?"
Exactly. It's like, "I know I invited you guys over for tea, but we've got a slight inconvenience here."
It's the end of the world. "Oh my god, you're wearing the faded stone of whatever. Oh,
Yeah.
dang it."
I also was laughing when I noticed E-Day when he's like, "Only 30 seconds left." I was like, "You were sick. Are you just counting down the seconds until Ultraman dies? Like, how do you know?"
He's got a stopwatch every episode going
Ah.
like, "Hmm, we've
Yeah.
only got 30 seconds left. I wonder what's gonna happen."
Yeah. I was just
Hey,
thought that was
you
kinda
gotta make
random.
your own entertainment when a giant creature's got the fate of your planet in its hands, you know?
Yeah. Also, why is Ultraman being pulled towards Antlar? I thought it was magnetic.
Chris has left the podcast. Oh.
Checkmate atheists. Alright. First of all, like, when do Christians and atheists even play chess together? Or wait, checkers. Is it chess or checkers? Yeah, it's chess, checkmate.
Chess, yeah.
That's so confusing. Like, why isn't it chessmate?
Why is it just me? Well, who's the queen? It's the Queen Mary versus Queen Elizabeth? I don't know.
Yeah, me neither. Queen bee. Alright, episode 8, The Monster Anarchy Zone. After massive volcanic activity, a survey team is sent back to their facilities on Tatara Island. When all contact is lost, an SSSP team is sent to investigate. They discover Tatara overrun with violent monsters, none more so than the horrifying Red King. Gonna disagree with that. Thrown from a cliff during the melee, Hayata is left behind as Muramatsu goes for help. Meanwhile, Arashi, Ide, and Fuji encounter a kind creature, Pigmon, which has left traces of the missing men for them to find, leading them to the sole survivor. Red King finally manages to find them, however, forcing Pigmon to distract the monster with his dying breath, allowing Ultraman to arrive.
My boy, well, probably everybody's boy,
Oh, yeah.
Pigmon is here.
Yeah, if you hate Pigmon, you can just get out of here.
Yeah, give us a 1 star and go.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love because Pigmon. My first interaction with Pigmon was the backup story in the Rise of Ultraman.
Oh, really?
So
Huh.
yeah, so seeing Pigmon in this context was like, wow, this is completely different.
Yeah. Oh, the
But I do
kaiju
love the way
steps.
that this
Yeah.
phrase is left traces of the missing men, like a hand here, an arm here.
Ooh, an eyeball.
Pigmon's like pulling someone apart to leave them with bread trail of breadcrumbs.
Yeah. I mean, the whole niceness is just a facade.
Yeah.
Oh,
Um,
man.
but yeah, the Red King now.
Yeah. So what's so funny, Red King has this reputation, which I mean, don't get me wrong, like he rips off Chandlar's wing, but like Ultraman beats him without even like getting to his beeping stage. Maybe
Oh,
it's
it
because
was so
he's
quick.
I know, maybe it's because he was already hurt, but I'm like, not really. Mm, mm.
That is that is kind of an interesting way to think about it. I guess he probably has such this like fascination. Well, and I love the design. Don't get me
Oh yeah.
wrong.
The
Uh,
Michelin Man kaiju. Yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah, the Stay Puft Kaiju. And there's an upcoming toy with the Red King, so I kind of see why that he's got this big reputation. So it's kind of
Yeah.
funny that Episode 8 has so many iconic monsters.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what I love about this. Like we've had so many character driven episodes, so it's a nice change of pace to just have this action. I mean, it's a little bit more serious and bleak, but like I don't. This is where I'm like, I like my giant monster action. Like it doesn't always have to be character driven, as long as you mix it up a bit, right?
Well, it's a TV show, so it's much easier to
Do that.
switch it up a bit.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's what I really appreciate. Like when we did the Godzilla and it was a action driven one, I was like, oh no. And it was even sometimes when it's human driven, I was like, oh no. But with only 22 minutes, you've got plenty of time to you can go back and forth every time. I don't think I'd care.
No. Don't you think it's weird though that Magular was killed by 2 grenades? Like he looked so vicious, and it's just like pew pew.
Well, you know.
Yeah,
Does crack me up.
yeah.
I do love the name, the Monster Anarchy Zone.
Hmm.
When they have a king, seems inaccurate.
You know, he's the false king, right? So it is anarchy.
Hey, that's
Also,
David's theological insight.
yeah. Also, did you notice they call him Pigmon without being told what his name is?
Yeah, did he introduce himself? Yeah, episode 9, the lightning operation. In the aftermath of typhoon number 13, near the town of Unari, a giant
That
monster
reminds
rises
me
from
of like
the
that combo number whatever song or mambo number. Why is it
I'll, t-
combo?
I'll take a Gabora number 13, medium fried. Um, having
Oh, I'm
gorged
so
itself on
tired.
their uranium mines, this Gabora makes its way for the nuclear power plant in Abe. Hayata baits the beast with a sample of uranium 235 tethered to a helicopter. In the process, he not only discovers that Fujie and Hoshino have stowed away, but that others are also in harm's way. When the monster swipes the helicopter out of the air, it is suddenly face to face with Ultraman. The battle is swift and decisive, with Ultraman saving the day again.
Oh, that is very true.
I when I read these like earlier today, I didn't realize like what reading these out loud would sound like. Anyway,
Oh man. Yeah, this twice in a row, like 2 episodes in a row, Ultraman just like absolutely wipes the floor with
just
these
wipes the
monsters.
floor.
I think it's like, okay, this suit is in real dire straits. We need to make sure we don't do
We
anything.
don't do anything to this one. Oh
Oh
man.
man. Uh I was thinking, I was like, by this point, if I was Hayato, like I would have like remember when Jinko pants were a thing and you'd wear the chain? Like I would totally
Mm.
have the beta capsule on that chain, right?
Yeah. Honestly, like have it a little more accessible.
Yeah.
But
Well, just he keeps losing it. And it's like,
ah,
wait, where did it go? Dude, this is like the most important thing in your life, and you're just letting it roll out of your
yeah, it's just
yeah.
yeah, I know it's all for like the sake of the episode, but still cracks me up. But this one
uh,
too, they kind of just know what the kaiju is without being told, don't they? That's
mhm.
the impression I got.
Yeah, it's an established monster, which is interesting.
Yeah.
I so Did you recognize the roar for Gabora? And
Probably.
I know when I ask you that, I'm always like, "Ah, okay." So, it's the King Kong roar from the Toho films. So, I
Oh,
was thinking
funny.
about that, and I was like, "Man, I wonder if they would keep that for Shin Ultraman because Gabora's gonna be in there." I feel like they won't, but it'd be hilarious if they
That
did.
would be awesome if they did.
Yeah.
Gosh, imagine sitting at the theater and just, like, pointing at the "Oh, that's the King Kong one." But, yeah, the roar didn't seem to fit the monster here.
Not this time, no.
I was a little like, "Wait a second, is there someone else back there?"
I love the fact that, like, the kids go and risk their lives, to get the food, and then they come back and it's like, "We sent you to get rice, and you come back with candy?"
It's at least it's, like, accurate. It's
Yeah,
true to life.
I know. I love how the kids almost, like, they don't really figure out he's Ultraman, but obviously they're like, "Wait, how did you survive that?"
Yeah.
Out of the
It
mouth of babes.
out of the mouth of babes. Oh gosh. Yeah, and if this was a current TV show, they would have, like, played this off as him trying to, like, weasel his way out of revealing who he is, but
Mhm.
kinda like that that's not really the point right now.
No. No, not at all. It's and that's the thing is you kinda sit here and you're like, "All right, how many times can you play that off?" But it's so endearing that you're just like, "Whatever."
You just
It
don't even
works in
really.
spite of it.
Yeah, honestly, though.
Alright. And the final episode, the mysterious dinosaur base. The SSSP investigates sightings of a monster in Lake Kitayama, where the fish population has recently exploded. Also, nearby is the mansion of Professor Nakayama, an expert on prehistoric creatures, who has secretly grown the beast now living at the bottom of the lake. It turns out that the doctor is really Professor Nikaido, a paleontologist who went missing at Loch Ness years earlier. Unmasked, he captures Kubo and Ide and threatens to feed them to his beloved Jiras. Jiras! Ide races to repair his communicator, and the pair are narrowly rescued after Nikaido is ironically trampled by his own creation. Ultraman soundly defeats Jiros through the use of the Ultra Slash.
I do love this one, like, the unintended consequences, you get killed by your own, you get killed by your own creation. They're not easily controllable. We don't have the it's such hubris to think we can control all of it.
Yeah. Well, that, and I mean, how can you take anyone seriously with those horribly inaccurate wall paintings? That is
Oh,
not a Ceratosaurus.
goodness. You would just think someone would have gone to actual paleontology school.
Yeah, jeez.
Um, Man, what's the, archaeological society we lost funding from last time? We should get them on the phone.
Did you notice that was Ipe from Ultra Q?
Yeah, that one I think I recognize a little bit
Yeah,
better.
yeah. I love the carryover because I mean the whole thing, like we haven't even brought it up. Fuji, the actress that plays that is the actress from Ultra Q as well. So it's been nice
Mhm.
to see that carryover. But
Yeah.
um yeah, this whole episode is interesting. Like a lot of people it's like, "Oh, it's the Godzilla suit." And like that's all they focus on. But there is some really good stuff here. Just the fact like what you're saying is, it's someone that has the hubris of like I have the ability to do something great with science and you let your own emotions of being scorned and being hurt bubble up and fester into something that hurts others, right? Like
Right.
this is where it's like if you want a textbook case of why therapy is important, watch the mysterious dinosaur base.
Men will literally grow a giant dinosaur under a lake instead of going to therapy.
I was waiting for that. Oh
Oh
man.
gosh.
Oh,
But I also love that, like, stuff like the Loch Ness doesn't really, like, we don't get a lot, but, like, it takes our real world legends and says they're kaiju.
yeah.
I
No,
love
that's
that too. It
absolutely
gives us
awesome.
a more of a sense of buying into it when we kind of, like, agree.
Yeah, it's a way to reinterpret some of these things, right?
Mhm.
I just love the fact that it's like, "Oh, Kubo and Ide went night fishing."
Yeah. Bow, 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 bow.
Did you feel like the effects used for that short flashback were really jarring though? When it was all like had those weird squares and it was super bright on the screen. Did you notice that?
Yeah, especially like I wondered if that was my Blu-ray player, aka my
No.
Xbox. But
No, it's
Ultra Q
very
had a
bright.
few times where like it would shift a little, it'd look a little different too. So
Mhm. Yeah, that
I
one was
don't know
just
if that
like
was
super
intentional or
bright.
just
Yeah.
yeah, I was trying to figure out if that was intentional or just kind of an accident of the technology.
Yeah. Yeah, that I don't know. It I was watching it late at night and I felt like my eyes were gonna burn. Like just crisp. Okay. Well, as we kind of said in an outtake, this went better than expected until we see all the one-star reviews come through and be like,
Yeah,
get
well,
these guys off of here.
no. We won't have that.
Not yet.
No, give us at least 2 episodes before you review bomb us, please.
Can we negotiate for 3?
We'll come back to the table. Let's dish out some awards and maybe get at least a 2.
All right. So Chris, who earned your most beautiful kaiju award?
Pigmon.
Oh, that's actually probably the see. I
Listen,
was thinking of the antagonistic ones. I didn't even think about Pigmon. I'm ashamed now.
well, see, here's the thing. There's a reason I was joined to Moist Minya. There's a reason I was drawn to Pigmon. I am a very masculine, manly man, but I like my cute guys too.
Yeah.
So
I just realized a lot of people are probably going to listen to this and then be like, "Did he just say moist minya?" and have no idea what we're talking about, and then
please,
just
no
like,
one tell them.
and they're just gonna be like, "Why did I click on this?" Yeah, Pigmon's a good choice for sure. I went with Gesera. I just that design, I it's almost like that weird skeleton-y tail there as well, but I
Mhm.
just I love Gesera. Every Ultraman series I've seen him in, there's something about that design that stands out to me. I connect with it, okay? He's my spiritual kaiju.
Oh, no.
I wish you could see the look on my face right now, listeners. I just it's that connection. I wish I could do more vocal fry like that. There we go. Just like that.
Oh.
Okay.
Are you turning Visco girl on me?
No, remember on Parks and Rec, Tenifer?
Oh my gosh,
She's the
yes.
absolute best. All right, how about your, Monster Graveyard Award?
Oh man, the explosion. When what you were saying about, like, you had to look at Jasper and be like,
Oh,
"Didn't that just" um, I
with
was sitting there, I
Miranga?
was like,
Yeah.
they get brutal in this show. Holy cow.
Like, "We don't want this suit anymore." Boom!
Yeah. I was like, "Wait, doesn't that cost money? Don't you need that again?"
I had to go with Ragon falling into the sea. It was just so
Yeah.
good.
I mean, the I he felt like a rag-on doll.
Man, that oh, Chris,
Sorry, should I have dropped that earlier?
Chris, Chris, you're beautiful.
Thank you.
How about your, how in the heck did he get away with that award?
This time the helicopter.
Okay. Yeah, that's actually a really good one.
What were you gonna go with?
So when he takes the old woman to the corner, and according to their understanding, is just hanging out with her while everyone else is risking their life to defeat Antlar.
He's just chilling. Honestly, though.
He's like, ma'am, I need to make sure your life alert's working.
He's
Yeah.
just like, okay, well, they've got this covered clearly, so I'm good.
Yeah. I've been working really hard and I'm a few hours behind on my Instagram feed. So if you guys could just keep going, because ever since they updated, I just lose track all the time.
It's just so hard to keep up.
I got my stories, guys. Okay. What about the aim for its butthole award?
Okay, this one's cheating. I know. I'm sticking with it anyway. I love when he like names Ultraman. He's essentially like, what about Ultraman? And it turns out, yeah, that's actually all of their names. They're all named Ultraman, in fact.
Yeah.
Like, what a great guess.
Oh, yeah, that's really good. I went with I love spaghetti and sandwiches.
Okay, yeah.
It was gonna be that or the hee ho hee ho.
Just maybe sometime we'll switch out the color timer with you doing that for 30 seconds.
Hee ho hee ho hee ho hee ho hee ho.
Oh, oh, oh no.
All right. And lastly, well, I guess you have another one after this.
Mhm,
What was your favorite
mhm.
episode and why?
I really did kind of okay, so I'll say this. The Monster Anarchy Zone did surprise me. I
Mhm.
thought I talk about this with Sentai, with Godzilla. Sometimes the monster fights kind of bore me, but I was pleasantly surprised how much I liked this one actually.
Cool.
But the Bluestone of Baradhi, I think this time. I just like the fact that there's so many different kind of strands going on with it.
Mhm.
There's so many different worlds kind of interacting there.
I could see you choosing that. That's kind of the route I thought you were gonna go. So
I love being predictable.
you're predictably wonderful, Chris.
Oh, thanks, Steve.
Predictably wonderful.
What about yours? What was your favorite?
Shoot the Invader. I
Okay.
thought really hard about it, and I love the sci-fi tone. It's so much fun, and Alien Balton is just such an iconic antagonist in the Ultraman series. So it was really just felt like the only one I could choose, even though the one I had the most fun with would probably be Coast Guard Command. Like,
Okay.
it's just such a fun episode, but I think overall my favorite one was Shoot the Invader.
That's really fair.
Or, sorry, the, Commit Genocide episode.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Well, when you put it that way,
It's even better. No, just kidding, please. I'm kidding. Um, so Chris, your theological insight, what have you got for us?
I thought I would just start us off with a softball today. And Pigmon's sacrifice really brings to light Jesus' sacrifice for us.
Mm.
That Jesus
Mhm.
is the one who goes before us into death and into new creation. Just as Pigmon went ahead with his scraps of human bodies to the last survivor,
Hallelujah.
eventually giving himself up he gives his life up to the Red King, and we all know Satan is red and the king of the power of the air, according to Ephesians 2. So Pigmon goes into death to let Ultraman take the victory. Just like Psalm 8 says that someday man will be ruling over creation.
Chris, so good. Oh man, I am so excited.
Man,
Just
just
this
wait
is
till we actually get like some real theology interactions in here.
oh yeah.
We're
Ooh.
gonna get to the book of Tobit, and I'm gonna ignore it because someone's gonna have something that mildly tangentially mixes up with a different Bible story.
All I know is, I went to church yesterday. I'm like, I don't feel like I need to go to church again for a month. Ooh, Chris.
I
Man.
just preached.
Yeah. All right.
Wow. So, what are we doing next episode?
All right. So next time we are going to be discussing episodes 11 through 20. So starting with the Rascal from Outer Space and ending with the Terror on Route 87. So as we close, thank you for listening to our podcast. If you are enjoying what we're doing here, we ask that you would chant our name over at Apple Podcasts and leave a 5-star review. That is really important right now, especially being a new show. And you search for our name, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, wait, I don't want to listen about Saved by the Bell. Or do you? I don't know.
You might. The reboot's really good, actually.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. See, I never grew up with this show, so I never
So,
bothered
yeah,
watching the reboot.
fair.
So, but also make sure that you do subscribe on your podcasting platform of choice so you don't miss any of our upcoming episodes. Finally, if you'd like to get in contact with us, you can head over to our website, atrociouspod.com, where you can find all of our social media accounts, along with a page for listener feedback and prayer requests. Until next time.
Hey, hi, priest, moist minion. I had to make sure I started that after the music.
Oh, I'm leaving it in. Science Patrol Headquarters, this is David. Hey, Captain, how are you? Oh, sir. Yes, sir. Yes. The names for the winners. Yeah, I drew those. Let me grab those for you really quick. So, on the Twitter side of things, we've got what was it again? Lisa. Lisa is the winner. And then on the website entry, we have let me look. Sorry, I should have been more prepared because I totally did this. Uh Ethan. Ethan is going to be the winner. What's that? You want me to tell them? You're Yes, sir. Mhm. Yes, sir. Okay. I will get right on that. Yeah, I'll do that later. Ugh.
一郎さん、私たちこれでお別れね。
いや、僕はきっと君を迎えに来る。きっとだ。